there, Michelle Visser on the Solely Rested channel. Today we are talking about cucumbers and how I staked them this year. I am so pleased with our cucumbers this year. It's now the end of the season. It's the third week of September and things are dying down in the garden. I can just show you quickly. Still, the beans are doing amazing. We picked a couple of wonderful bunches just this morning of beans, and I think I'm going to have enough to can more beans. We have bush beans and climbing beans. The tomatoes are still producing pretty well. I have some of those on both sides, but they're just not the same texture, you know. The end of the summer, just not quite as good. The tomato sandwiches aren't quite as yummy. The sunflowers are still producing a whole lot of wonderful pollen for our bees, but of course they're not looking quite as pretty. The zinnia over here is still gorgeous color in the garden, and the bees love that. But it's definitely fall, you can tell in a lot of ways, but mainly with our cucumbers. That's where we see it the most right now. The vines have died off. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if I've gotten my last good cucumber for the summer at this point. But I wanted to show you how I staked them this year. I am so pleased how well it worked, and it was really just kind of on a whim. I typically would do cucumbers, I've always done cucumbers, in a mound, where I have 3 of them in a mound, and then I'll do different sorts of ways to trellis them and give them I've tried different ways of giving them something to climb up. But this year, I really was thinking more about design than anything else, and I was really trying to have a very aesthetically pleasing vegetable garden. I've been so happy with it. And one part of that was trying to have everything come into a center point of our garden. So it was just aesthetically pleasing even from up above. And we have some drone pictures that I love. So for the cucumbers, I really wanted to have rows instead of mounds. And I've always done mounds. But when I was thinking about the rows, I thought, well, what's a good way to do that? I wasn't sure if it was going to work, but we decided to try it. I just got some wire fencing. See if I can show you here. Just, you know, this metal. We actually had it in our barn. I didn't go get anything special. So whatever you have, maybe that's some sort of a fencing material you could use, some wire. And then just these old fence poles that I also had in the barn. So I had a total of 4 of these metal fence poles, and I had 2 nice long sections of my fence wire. Let me see, I wonder if I can get it in far enough away so you can see. So I wound up having 2 rows of cucumbers set up that way, and I planted the cucumbers on both sides. So I used a lot of seeds this year, long rows on both sides. And it did take me a while in the beginning to very patiently work the cucumber vines up the fence. I would be down here every day and I would just take a look, and I would notice if something was trailing where it shouldn't be, and I would redirect it. But after just maybe 2 or 3 weeks of that in the early summer, from then on, they pretty much took care of themselves. And it was wonderful to be able to pick them from either side. And I don't know, the production amount was wonderful. The picking was so much easier, and it was so aesthetically pleasing. So I'm really, really pleased with the way we trellised our cucumbers. I'm definitely going to do it again this way next year. I hope you're having a fantastic day in your neck of the woods.